What is up, Pokemon fans, and welcome to the GPC Season 5 Draft Analysis. I have joined another league, which is pretty much the third one I've joined, and since now I've got more free time after PCBL ended, yay, we got second place again! But, it's whatever. I feel kind of good about it. That means I'm a perennial contender, and Season 8 is going to be crazy, even though it won't come in by around December. It's how it is, and I think I'm pretty much chill with whatever goes down. So, this league is basically full of 12 teams, and there are 6 in each conference. One's a red and one's a blue conference. We're a part of the, I think, red conference. Blue? Which one? I don't really know. But what I do have is that our draft consists of 11 Pokemon. You get to pick 5 Pokemon for free in one tier each. And we have to also pick 5 Pokemon through 500 points. And A tier costs 180 points. B tier costs 120 points. C tier costs 100. D 60. And E is worth 40. We also get to pick a Mega. And Megas that are regular are gold, aren't worth 0 points. And they are. And Silver, they give us 40 plus points, and Pyrite gives us 80 plus. So, if you really wanted to pick up something really great, you would go for a Pyrite Mega out the gates. So, let's get this all nice and started up, and talk about our very first round draft pick. And of course, we pick up Kyurem Black, or Bahamut the Kyurem Black. Now, I obviously remember picking this up at one time, so I actually wrote down a couple notes and I'm going to talk about through them, which I'd be very happy to explain. So with Kyurem Black, I picked him up because it's a really great attacker. It really works well mixed. It's got physical and special potential, so really I have a lot of potential to hit hard offensively. Its 95 base speed is actually pretty decent, and if we go over to its stats, 125 base HP is still pretty darn nice. And it has high attack, 170 attack. That's wall breaker status, and that means we don't have to put ridiculous amount of investment into that. We can do mixed, and it even has added defense along with special defense, so we can make it extremely bulky. It can be scarfed up and work. It can be banded. It can be specs, and it works out. There's really nothing against it. Icium Z is actually a great input because, well, when I actually think about it honestly, it can really knock out a lot of things. Like a Z Bolt Freeze, that ends lives. Plus with Terravolt, which is basically an ability that makes all damage reduction, it makes it useless. Therefore, there's really not a lot of things that can take it. Like against Mega Venusaur, an Ice Beam two-shots it no matter what. And it does serious damage. So Bahamut's great. No one picked it up in the first round. It was a great A-tier pickup for free, and in my mind I'm like, I can start off a really good core with this, and I went off with FDS core, and it made more sense for me to make that. And this pickup was around my 8th. I was the 8th pick, and surprisingly no one picked it up. They were all worried about picking up Megas or a Tapu. So what I pretty much did next was go, alright, I'll take it, and I already know what I'm going to pick up for round 2, because after the end of the said wheel and it comes to the second round, my second pickup was Poseidon. And of course I picked this up. Tapu Fini is actually very nice. 85 base speed's okay. It has really good defenses, great defenses actually, and it can be a great defogger. And not only that, Misty Surge gives me that nice ability of terrain, and setting that up means no Pokemon gets any status ailments. So it really just works out in favor, so we can't get Toxic Scald to death. Plus it also has Moonblast and Scald. It even can do Calm Mind if we make it work. And 85 base speed can outspeed some things, and there's usual threats. We even get Knockoff to get rid of items. And I think we get dual screens. What we get? Yep, we do get dual screens. We get Reflect and Light Screen. That's pretty great. Nature's Madness kicks in and he's perfect. Even get Taunt, so in certain situations we can put things into our advantage. So really covers our fighting type weakness with Bahamut very well, and anything dragon based as well. so that works out. I mean, it really doesn't stop steel, but you know, it does its best. And honestly, it doesn't stop fairy either. So I thought that I really needed to pick up a steel type, and well, you know, it kind of really thought and fitted in that when it came to my pick, I thought, let me pick up a Mega Pokemon. Because instead of me waiting till the end to pick one up, I should just pick up one that can help me supplement points. But instead, my main idea was that when it came to round 3, I wanted to get Mega Scizor. Because one, Mega Scizor has priority, and it only has one weakness, that Tapu Fini dead-on covers. But sadly, it got picked up round 3, and I got sniped. And it was okay for that happening because, well, I expected that to happen. So I had a nice backup from the silver bin of Megas. So our round 3 pickup was Iron Maiden, the Mega Aggron. Now it just works super well because with Filter it already takes only 3/4 of the damage hit on it, and it only has 3 weaknesses with this steel typing only, which is just fire, ground, and fighting. Not only that, its defenses are just ridiculous. It already has really good attack out the gates. 230 defense means I literally have to put 0 investment, and the highest it can go is 614. So I have a literal physical wall, a defensive wall, which is very much what I've wanted, and it really works out. I can just do max HP, max special defense, and we're taking hits for days. Even the special defense has now gained a boost of, hey, this is garbage, this is really good. You know, the 50, 30, 20 here. And with Iron Maiden, it kind of can work well with Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam actually makes it more threatening, and it even has Stealth Rock set up, so that's great to have. And it's a good way to cover for poison and grass types on Poseidon's side. And the electric gets covered by Bahamut, and it finishes off our FDS core, and it works out for us in the end. So we can go and move on to our next round. Okay, so as we are resuming, our round 4 pickup was fast electric type. That's what I kind of thought I needed. I needed something to have a really good speed tier. I had a nice decent amount of 95, 85, but they're only really good when scarfed up. So I really went up and picked up Raikou and Thundaga the Raikou. And Raikou seemed like a really good idea at the time. That could be a decent way to switch something up later on if I have to. I still technically have 4 trades to make things work. And I usually am a big fan of Raikou. Raikou is really something I haven't used in a long time. And really its only abilities are pressure and inner focus. But really pressure is still pretty good. It keeps a lot of things in check physically. Well, PP wise. And the cool thing is that you can do an Assault Vest or Choice Scarf setting. It can even work great specs. It hits extremely hard. It also has that nice 115 base speed, and that actually is very helpful. It's bulkier than Jolteon, so it can obviously take hits a little bit better, although it's not faster. Plus, in other ways, it has 90 base HP, which is actually somewhat kind of good with its bulk, along with its 100 special defense. Obviously, it can't deal with ground types, but it does help cover the electric weakness a little bit better. And the speed kind of helps my opponent think of a way to either outspeed it and force something to use Scarf, or anything else just to stop me dead in my tracks so I could take advantage of it. Plus, it has a decent move pool. Well, maybe not. It's kind of shallowish. You really only have a certain amount to use, but I think I might make this one my Zmon, most likely, because it just has a lot of opportunities just to hit hard. And along with Aura Sphere, we can hit a lot of other threats. And like a Fighting EMZ, Aura Sphere can do a lot of damage to somebody. So pretty much that's how my round 4 pickup went, and it cost me only 120 points. And at that point, I got around 420 points left after this pickup. So my next plan was thinking, I'm gonna need like a Ghost or Dark type here, and I thought a Ghost type would work. So problem was with that, I got sniped really hard by Cav. I mean, just for he wanted it too. I really wanted to use it, and I thought about trying to think of my round 7 pickup. And it didn't really make any sense for me to bring it or get it at that time, because I thought I'm going to run out of opportunities to pick up a really good Ghost type. So I had to go for my backup, Bullish Nightmare, the Spiritomb. I think what made Spiritomb kind of stand out to me still, or why I had it as a backup, is that when I wanted Cofagrigus was a bit more bulky, it had a bit more HP, and it didn't really have the speed at all anyways. I think it was still like 5 points slower, but pretty much its HP, defense, and special defense were a bit higher, and its special attack was higher. But, you know, its typing is way better than what I wanted previously, and its only main weaknesses is pretty much not being able to deal with whatever it doesn't have investment for. So this thing's great as a defensive wall or a special defensive mon. It has setup with Calm Mind, and it's pretty much got 2 forms of where you can be physical or special with it if you want, and it also has the great ability Infiltrator. Plus it even has Pain Split, Toxic, and surprisingly doesn't have Hex. It just doesn't, and that's okay. And with both 108 base defenses, it has a pretty much decent amount of chance to have nice bulk, and it can work out in the long run with being protected against certain psychic types and fighting types. I had an issue with fighting types and really only had 1 resist. It adds another. So I thought, hey, why not add another? And my round 6 pick was kind of a split between Espeon or Ariana, the Mesprit. Now, really, when I kind of thought about between it, Espeon was a bit of a faster mon that kind of hit okay without a boost, but the speed was there. 110 speed's pretty nice. Oh no, wait, it actually had really good special attack. I think it was 130. But what I was saying before, that yeah, it moves really fast. 110 is really nice. Has a good speed tier to have because that equals up around Latias and Gengar. Plus it had Magic Bounce, and that ability itself pretty much shuts down any form of stacking up any form of hazards. And what went differently here is that Mesprit is also a ground resist and immunity with the ability Levitate. Plus it has a very versatile move pool where I can just do whatever I need to or want to. Even physical sets work, special sets work, screens, Magic Coating. It even has U-Turn, so I can have a decent Volturn core with Lundaga, and that's pretty nice to know. And when I kind of also look at it, it also has a decent setup move. It even gets Calm Mind, which is actually pretty good, and it also gets Trick Room, which may come in handy or may not come in handy. It really depends on how things happen this season. And you know, odds are it also gets Trick. It also gets Healing Wish, so a Scarf set is very ideal, and it kind of comes in handy. And if we look at its stats, it just has versatile stats. It's like a lamer Mew because it has about 20 less points from everywhere else. It's like it has no speed or it has no HP, but it's got everything else 5 points higher than what Mew would be. So it's like Mew, but just a way smaller move pool. And I find it to be a little bit better because you kind of don't have to be forced or stuck to be anything. You can make Ariana however you want, and that's kind of how I would see it. So that's kind of how the first 6 rounds went. Almost every pick I've had in my mind were pretty solid. So we can move on to the next 5 on our little tour here. So, you know, it's basically what I was thinking about. And these next 5 rounds were pretty important. I had a pretty decent understanding on how I kind of wanted my team to work out. And we kind of go up to 7 through 11. And my 7th round pick, I was basically thinking, is this thing going to get sniped? Is this thing going to get sniped? Because really, if it did, I would have just went straight to making Hitmonchan my E and be that 7th round base pick. But luckily, no one touched it until I got to it. And we have Sun Wukong, the Infernape. Yep, he's back again. And the reason why I picked up Infernape is because, well, of course it has 108 base speed, and that really works out in my favor. It also can be a nice beginning to the Fire, Water, Grass core because it does cover the grass weakness, and it has a U-turn basis core that it could have with Raikou. It gets a really decent move pool. It has a bunch of setup ideas. It has Bulk Up. It has Calm Mind. It has Nasty Plot. It has Calm Mind. Wow. I didn't even notice that. It even has Nasty Plot on top of that, of course, like I said before, and Swords Dance. So I can make up setups any way I possibly could want. And the only reason why I feel like it's a waste of time doing that is because it is a very frail. So depending on how I set it up, I can make it where it can take at least a hit and then start setting up. Or I can do a band set and it'll work. Scarf set, it'll work. Pretty much any choice item that you give it, it will work out because it has good base stats. It has 104 attack, 104 special attack, those are really workable, and a nice little boost in them makes sense. It also has a really good ability in Iron Fist, where it boosts all punching moves by about 1.2 power, or 1.2 times power. So basically you kind of have moves like Thunder Punch and other stuff kind of just doing enough and being like, oh yeah, it's now 90 damage now. And you know, it has Mach Punch, so it has priority in Mach, and I think it does have Bullet. No, wait, I don't think it does. Nope, but it does have Bulldoze, and I think, yep, it has Earthquake. So it's just a really good physical and special move pool. So depending on it, it pretty much works the same exact way as Black Kyurem would do, and it can work mixed if it wanted to. So really, it's just another attacking mon that gives off really great offensive pressure, and it really would help me out a lot and an offensive pattern. It's just another good physical mon to pick up on that I can take any advantage with. So we can move on to our next one, Tangrowth, or Boots Senior. And of course I give it that name because it's back again. It's another mon, and I thought, well, Tangrowth is something that was tier 2, and I had about 240 points left, and I thought, well, let's see, I could pick up a tier 2 or pick up 2 C tier mons and call that a day. But I thought, hey, there's something really awesome here. A really nice grass type can come in handy and help me out. And with Tangrowth, Fairy Generator is a really nice core to have, because now it can just come back all healed up and do its damage. It's even got decent stats where its attack and special attack are high, along with its defense and HP. The only thing lacking is special defense, but put a Assault Vest on that and you're going to be taking hits. And also what makes it even better is that it does have a plethora of moves that kind of work for itself. It has Bullet Seed, which isn't really useful, but it has Giga Drain, it has Grass Knot, it has Knockoff, it has Leaf Storm. So I can make this attacker or some kind of stall setup with poison. Shoot, it gets poison jab, so that's pretty cool. So you can go physical or special. I think it has, nope, it does not have dual screens. Or does it? Nope, it doesn't. It only has Reflect, and that's okay. It also has Seed Bomb, Sleep Powder, so I can make this thing anything I want. It just has more versatility to be physically or specially offensive, or depending on it, I can make it physically or specially defensive to my liking, or it can work with Trick Room. So really, it just helps. And Chlorophyll is just another added bonus where if I have them on using Sunny Day, that can help. That would make it move much faster and hit harder. There's really nothing else much to say about it. It's just going to come in handy and helps me finish off that Fire, Water, Grass core. It covers the electric weakness that's a problem, although flying kind of does run through. So really what I kind of thought, that's really how I set it up. Now I'm just rambling. Let's just move on to the 9th pick. And our 9th pick is Ragnarok the Aerodactyl. And when I thought about it, I was thinking to myself, let me try and get another ground resist, but let's get a flying type. And the reason why I wanted a flying type is because it's something I can hit certain types differently. But I thought, well, I only have 60 points left, so let's get a good D tier mon. And surprisingly, Ragnarok was a nice D tier, and it's great. It was a great bargain pickup, probably the last solid pick I had. And when I look at it, its stats are pretty beautiful. It has 130 base speed, so that's a great speed tier, and it kind of fills out that feeling and need of speed that I needed throughout the season. It also has 105 attack, which is workable. Slap a choice band on that, and it just ends lives. It even gets Hone Claws, it even gets Roost, so it has recovery. So a nice item would be just perfect. You can choose Choice Band, Choice Scarf. Oh man, I am yawning a lot because time is almost up for me. It's already 1 in the morning. There's also, for some reason, choice specs, but that's not a thing. And even Assault Vest is a thing to a point because it does have decent special defense, around 75. It can work with that. But, you know, it's just the reason why I also got it was that it's also another good defogger. And it also has Hone Claws, which can come in handy for a good setup, and Ground Immunity, which again is pretty good. And along with a nice flying resist, the rock flying type is pretty good, even though it does have about 5 weaknesses that I can cover. because Ragnarok's something fast that can hit really hard if it can, and can be decent setup or stealth rocks, and it can hit multiple threats with moves like Aqua Tail, Crunch, Earthquake, Dragon Claw. Wow, it gets Dragon Claw. That's insane. Don't even think it gets Outrage. Does it even get Outrage? That would be interesting if it did. No, it doesn't. But it also gets Tailwind, which could also help out in the long run somewhere. And, of course, Stealth Rock setting. So it's just really good to have those. It even has decent moves in Brutal Swing, which kind of doesn't work, but it hits adjacent Pokemon. And, you know, that kind of works really well with a Justified set. And Rockhead. Totally forgot about that ability. It comes in handy with using... If it only had Head Smash, it'd be OU. But if it didn't, it only has Double Edge. Which, you know, that's how it kind of just does its thing. I mean, we could just talk about recoil moves and they just won't help us out. So, you know, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about when it came to the 9th round pick. And we have our only issue here. There's 2 more spots I need to fill up, and honestly I have no idea which 2 I wanted. For some reason I thought to myself, maybe I should just get a ground type of some kind in order to kind of curb my electro type problem a little bit. And I know that if I do that, I'm going to have to add a grass weakness, maybe. Some type of weakness somewhere with this ground type. So I thought I'll take it, and I was kind of between picking up another D again and thought, well, I only chose either between Swampert or Rhyperior because those 2 really matter to me. And sadly, I thought, no, Rhyperior just has too many weaknesses for me to worry about, and it's not even that fast. So Swampy Joe kind of takes the cake. So it's really just a good defensive mon that takes good electric type moves. It even has decent bulk to take some kind of hit. And its moveset is surprisingly semi-versatile. And I mean, it has good special moves here. It gets Scald, it gets Ice Beam, it gets Ice Punch. It also gets Curse, which is something I didn't even think it could get, but no one really uses that inherently. It gets Barrier. Oh god, it even gets freaking Captivate and Confide. It even gets Counter and Mirror Coat, which are actually pretty okay moves that come in handy for taking hits. Oh my god. And other stuff going back. And, you know, that's pretty good to have. It even gets Low Kick, even gets Outrage, Power Up Punch. Gets a bunch of things that are really good for me to use. Maybe I'll make this thing my Z-Mon, but, you know, it doesn't really matter. It just comes in handy to know that it does have a decent move pool that can work. It even gets Focus Blast, which I didn't even know it could have. So this thing can go physical or special, it really doesn't matter. It even has the HP to take certain hits or be a useful stalling mon in a possible way. Great attack so it can hit hard. It even has a really great physical move pool to make that come to life. You can do a Choice Band Swampert and it'll come in handy or not. It really doesn't matter. That's kind of what I set up myself with Swampy Joe, and that's kind of how my 10th pick was looking. And I can use its moveset to my liking because I am comfortable using it. So that's all I needed to say about my 10th round pick. And my 11th round pick was going to be the hardest one because I did not know what to do. But I did think to myself, I don't really have a cleric here, so why not just pick up something that can work that position? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I just keep yawning. I can't stop. It sucks. But really, there is one mod in my mind that I thought this thing could really do its job. And I thought about Audino, but another one came to mind instead. And I really didn't dislike the Region Core I could get with Boot Senior and Audino, but I rather prefer this one instead and use Sunshine the Licky Licky. Yep, I am using this. Me alone is using this. And the reason why is that it does have a decent move pool. It's a normal type, of course. It's going to have a large offensive move pool. And it has a bunch of stuff that can work to my favor. And, you know, it really just depends on how that goes. Maybe this will also be my second Z-Mon. It might not be, probably. I already have an idea of one. I might make another be Kyurem Black, honestly. But still, Own Tempo is kind of okay. Can never get confused, but no one's really putting their gamble on confusion anymore since it only does 30%. Cloud9. Cloud9 is a very awesome ability, and Oblivious is even better because you can't get taunted. So yeah, most likely an Oblivious set makes sense. And you know, it has pretty much a decent hoop pool and a pretty decent amount of stats here. Like, it's amazingly average. It has no speed. I expected that. Really great HP. 110 is really good. And its defenses are good enough to where if I max out somewhere, if I get hit by a special hit, I won't get knocked out right away. So it just can take hits, dish damage. It only really has physical setup, so you can't really do anything else. But it gets Disable. It gets Heal Bell and Wish. That's why I wanted it, so it can be a decent cleric. And it works out in my favor by helping me take hits. And even though it is a fighting weakness, it's another ghost resistance that I don't have, and it works to my favor. So that's pretty much all I have for this team. I feel like this is probably the most solid team I've picked up in a very long time in a league. So thank you for watching, and I'll pretty much see you guys next time. Week 1 probably doesn't start till next week anyhow. And, you know, I'll probably be making more content along with ABC and PIBA. Although I haven't made a PIBA video in weeks, I'll probably make something for weeks 4 and 5 and hopefully 6. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.